All right, guys, welcome back to another amazing video. I'm really excited about this one. A couple of months ago, about a year ago, I did this amazing video review on Aaron Franklin's MasterClass video, Texas style brisket. We did it on a big green egg. We smoked it to perfection over post oak, and it came out absolutely amazing. In the meantime, I've perfected my brisket game a little bit, so I figured out, okay, let's do a thing here. Let's compare Aaron Franklin's Texas style, somewhat low and slow brisket to a brisket cooked on a gateway. And the gateway drum smoker is famous for making hot and fast brisket, and I'm expecting to be able to get a brisket done in half the time on this smoker versus what takes me about 15 hours or so on the big green egg. So let me show you how to do it.
We are running both smokers with FOGO charcoal and live oak chunks today. The Kamado Joe will be smoking at 260 to 270 degrees and the gateway at 300.
When choosing a brisket, you gotta be a little bit choosy. We went to multiple stores to find the perfect brisket and then chose these two from about a dozen or so of the brothers and sisters. And I'm looking for a nice full size. I don't want a 10-pound brisket, I want a 20-pound brisket. And I want to slap it. Yes. And then I want to slap it here. And then, come on, Beto. I think we get away with minimal trimming on this brisket. You want to kind of cut off a little bit of the edges, you know, just sometimes you get like dried out meat. Like here you can see it a bit more. You get this like sort of like dried out meat in a brisket and you want to cut that off, you know, that's not nice. You know what happened here? They poured some boiling water on it to disinfect and it sort of burned that edge. And you just cut this off. Really, there's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, it's not going to smoke, it's not going to taste good, it's not going to cook. So you pretty much, you know, touch your brisket, massage it a bit. You can feel all those spots that are a little bit problematic, you know, where the meat is a little dried out, a little boiled, from what I was describing earlier, and you just cut it off. You have a bit more pieces right here. So let's cut this off right there. See, it looks much better. Once we get rid of that, it's much nicer. There you go. But again, you know, you can sort of over trim this, because look here again, the fat is within the muscle. So, you know, if you dig into this, trying to extract all that fat, you're basically going to destroy the brisket and taking it apart. And you know, you just have to make a judgment call. You know, how much can you trim? How much can you take off? Look here, this one was a good one to do. And that's it. I mean, just around the edges a little bit. You know, Aaron Franklin's a big fan of that. We want it to look like an Italian sports car. Round edges. Let the smoke flow right around it. And there you have it. I would call this a day. Perfectly trimmed brisket.
We are keeping it Texas style today. Mustard as a binder to help the rub stick and a generous coating of a coarse salt and pepper rub.
Clearly bigger, right? I mean, it's similar in length, very similar, but this one is just bigger, right? This was a better brisket. Less trimming was needed. It had a better shape from the beginning, but see, in the end, we kind of shaped it very similarly. But yeah, this brisket lost more of its size due to poor shape and the need for trimming. All right, close back up.
Drop it like it's
a hot potato. So no plate setter. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know if this is right. This is the way to do. No tray. We're just going to wing it. We want this to be a fast brisket. And close it up.
As the brisket is smoking and forming that amazing bark, I'm helping it along by spritzing it with apple cider vinegar every hour. It keeps it moist and helps to absorb all the smoke.
Rain or shine, here we are. always cooking. Let's see what our brisket look like. Come on, guys. Let's open it up. Show it. Show it to the guys. Let's not open it too much so it doesn't get too wet. Spritz it a bit. Keep the rain out, guys. Keep the rain out. And on it goes. All right, that looks good. Beautiful. Just a little bit of vinegar on there. That's awesome. All right, guys, let's go inside. Woo.
The Gateway smoker is running at perfect 300 degrees with the needle pointing straight up. Make sure to turn your brisket every half an hour to an hour to avoid overcooking certain parts of it, and keep spritzing it with apple cider vinegar. Once the brisket has developed that perfect bark, wrap it in pink butcher paper and keep cooking it until it's cooked to perfection, which is not a specific temperature, but rather feel. I want to be able to insert a meat probe and poke around, and if it feels like butter with little to no resistance, that's when you know that you're done. When it's at that point, take the brisket off, wrap it in towels, and put it in a cooler so that it can rest for a couple of hours. Alright guys, we're back. Chef Pedro's in the house again. And I mean, let's start off with the obvious. It's another day, another morning. Actually, it's first thing in the morning. We're drinking coffee. And what happened was the brisket, the second brisket, was done until about 11:30, 12 at night yesterday. And you know, still needed to be rested, so there was no way of finishing the video. And that's something that happens sometimes. You know, when you plan your brisket cook, you need to plan a bit more time. You know, sometimes it takes a bit longer than you think. If you want to have it done for dinner, make sure you finish your cook by lunchtime. You know, really you kind of starting the afternoon before, and you're done by lunchtime. That way you can enjoy it for dinner. And I think that's what we see today. You know, we started our brisket about 24 hours ago, and now it's ready to eat. I mean, that's basically what it is. If you want to eat it for dinner, start the day before for dinner cooking it. I mean, right off the bat, there's a size difference, right? This is way smaller, and it's something that I talked about in the video. Right, this brisket, I mean, literally perfect out of the bag. I mean, it took us like 2 minutes to trim a little bit the edges, take a little bit of the fat off. I mean, no problem at all. This one, yeah, it was some odd pieces, some odd shapes, so we took off a lot more meat of this. We're gonna have amazing brisket burgers.
100% brisket burgers.
Any day now. Yeah. And yeah, and that's sort of some of the size difference. And I mean, so that really, I mean, that's really the first factor that will lead to different cooking times, right? I mean, right off the bat, we cooked a much smaller brisket here than here. Basically, Kamado Joe, Gateway. And that's kind of what we saw too. I mean, so let's talk a little bit about the performance. This brisket was smoked unwrapped at 270 degrees for about 6 hours.
Yeah, like 6 hours.
Yeah. Then I wrapped it, and then it needed another 6 hours until I could put the probe in the thermometer and kind of, you know, kind of look around a little bit, and it was super butter basically, right? It just, and the Gateway brisket, on the other hand, it was unwrapped for 4 hours. And then it was done after another 2 hours or so, or 3, something like that. The total cooking time here was 7 hours, and the total cooking time here was 12 hours. Yeah, let's just go into that, talk about it, and then we'll compare it to the Gateway brisket.
Let's go.
So right here, this is more or less where you would get your competition pieces from. You know, like pencil thick, piece sort of like this, you know. I mean, this is like crazy thick. This is not even pencil thick. But I mean, this is it, right? So it doesn't fall apart, but you tuck on it and it falls apart. Perfect. Doesn't disappoint. You get a little bit of a smoking, but not that much. And that's something that I was mentioning yesterday, you know. It's difficult. It's difficult on a ceramic grill to burn the wood very clean, very efficiently. Most likely you end up smoldering, and so you don't get a good smoking. And that's what you see a little bit here, you know.
We have a bit of a smoke ring, but nothing too pronounced, nothing too crazy. I'm hoping on the gateway it's gonna be better. So let me see. It's a little harder here to see. What you can do is some guys, some pit masters, they will have one corner sort of like at an angle, that way you know where you want to cut afterwards. I think it's right here. But what you can do is to just cut off a little piece, right? I mean, you make a mistake or not, you have a look at it. I mean, where was our end piece here?
I think it's gone.
Oh, I ate it, right?
Yeah.
But right off the bat, I would say this looks drier. Right, when I cut off that end piece from here, from the Kamado Joe brisket, it was more moist.
Yeah.
Which is because it's smaller, you know.
Smaller piece. Yeah. It's a thinner.
Yeah. No super pronounced smoke ring either on this one. Interesting, because on the gateway we had blue smoke right off the bat, and beautiful. Okay, let's do so I cut this a little bit better, you know, pencil thickness. I mean, look, the whole bend test thing, perfect. Well, this is more falling apart. It seems more tender.
Right?
Like this just fell off my finger. Fell off my finger. Yeah, I mean, it's again perfectly cooked, perfect. Taste. I mean, I'm trying to be like really tough here, right? Which one is better? I mean, they're both amazing. You know, I feel a lot more flavor of the rub here. Smaller brisket, maybe we could have gone a little easier on the wrap versus a much larger brisket. Just the overall flavor is better. I almost find it sweet a little bit.
And the texture.
Yeah, much better. Interesting, huh? I had high hopes for this. I mean, I'm not going. Well, I will declare a personal winner, but you know, barbecue community is very
tough.
It's very tough. If whoever I name, the other half of the world is going to come crashing down on me. But you know, in my defense, it's the first time ever I used the gateway, and I've been really excited about it, doing brisket, doing like a speed, hot and fast brisket. But as of now, after my very first cook, I would give the win to the Kamado Joe. I like it way better. Like, I got a more pronounced smoke ring. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it, but in the bottom, the Kamado Joe one, top one, the gateway. I got a little better smoke ring on the Kamado Joe, and I expected better from the gateway. They're both great. I've eaten much worse brisket in restaurants.
Yeah, that's true.
This is awesome. Yeah, but for now, for this episode, until we repeat it, I'll declare the Kamado Joe brisket the winner for today. Just came out better, which I guess, you know, let's pin it down to that. You know, we think that it won because it was a better brisket to start with, and I don't know. You know, I don't know how I feel about the whole hot and fast thing. You know, and even on the Kamado Joe, the Aaron Franklin method, let's call it. You know, we were running at 270. It's not like it's you know,
super low
and slow either, 225. You know, I've done briskets too. I mean, we would still be here cooking the brisket if I would have done it at 225. You know, still it wouldn't be ready. And so in that way, I guess I'm more of a fan of somewhat lower temperatures. You know, it's less room for error too, right? It's more forgiving. You know, if you cook at 270 or 260, that's less forgiving than if you're running at 300 and maybe the temperature escapes to 320. You know, then you're in trouble. Yeah, I think that's what it is. But make your own mind up. You know, try it for yourself. Play around with temperatures. Play around with different size briskets. I mean, I'm a big fan of buying the largest brisket I can find. Again, I think it helps you eliminate errors and just you have a better cooking experience. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope I was able to provide something valuable to you guys today. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe, share it with your friends, leave us a comment down below, and see you again next week. Thank you.